Welcome to the Private Lenders Podcast with your hosts from Hard Money Bankers, Jason Balin and Chris Haddon. This podcast is sponsored by hardmoneymastermind.com.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Private Lenders Podcast. Chris and Jason here, and today we are talking about our first annual summer event for Mastermind members, for members of hardmoneymastermind.com. If you want, go check out that site right now, click on live events and learn more about it, and you can schedule a time to talk to our associate Dave Bauer, and he'll give you all the details. So this came about, it's the first annual, like I said, this came about because people in the Mastermind and in our network were asking for ways to work with us in person. You know, it is a natural evolution of a community, this one being a private lender community, to start having some live events. It's not a huge conference. We're going to break down the details of what it's going to be like, but we're really excited. It's in June, and we hope to have a good turnout, that people get a ton of value from it, and we can continue to grow this thing every year.
Yeah, I mean, we already have some top tier lenders that are registered, so that's obviously a good look. And that's what really helps, is when you have not just us kind of talking, but other lenders helping with each other, providing knowledge, education, experience, masterminding. I mean, you know, when we've done other events in the past, you know, that's kind of what makes things tick and what make things work. And again, just like you said, you know, there's a lot of folks in the Mastermind group that just want kind of more kind of next level stuff, right? You know, they're doing their stuff. I mean, listen, this is a lonely space, right? Unless you have even with a business partner, this can be a lonely space. There's not endless amount of, I don't want to say education, but like engagement in this space, because everyone's models are a little bit different, right? Like, you do what you think makes sense in this space, and you're constantly chatting with other lenders, either in your home market or, you know, other markets, and trying to be like, hey, what would you do in this situation? What'd you do here? You know, how does this work? Like, you kind of like follow this path that makes sense in your head. And hopefully that reality, you know, matches to that, and it works out. And the other thing is like, everybody's at different spots in their businesses. Like, we've done dozens of private consulting. We've worked with a lot of, you know, folks in the Mastermind group in the past. And it's one of those things that, like, okay, you're in a certain spot right now and you want to get to a certain spot. Maybe you got a few $1 million deployed and you want to get to 10 million or 25 million or 50 million or 100 million or whatever. But like, it's hard to think through some of the challenges that you know, if you're a $3 million lender, it's hard to think about what you need at 10 million, right? Like, at 10 million, you need to maybe hire a staff. That's not on your mind right now. The only thing on your mind right now is, how do I find more deals and how do I find more capital, and maybe putting some systems and structures in place, right? So like, we could chat right now and I could tell you what to do exactly at 10 million, but it's completely irrelevant. Or I could tell you what to do down the road, but it's completely irrelevant. And I, you know, and it's funny because, you know, one of the things that Chris will tell a lot of folks with defaults, it's like, listen, I can tell you everything that happens with defaults because we've been through every single one of them, like contested foreclosures, right, bankruptcy work, following judgments. But like, that's just going to go in one ear and right out the next right now, because like, unless that's relevant to you at this point, it just doesn't matter, right? And don't get me wrong, like, it will matter at some point, and when that does, let's have a conversation. We can help in this point. But like, this business, if you're like in earlier stages and you haven't reached scalability, like, the business is changing daily. It just is. Like, there's new things that are coming every day that you're not 100% sure how to overcome just because you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. And you know, as the Mastermind has grown over the past 5 to 6 years, it's been so awesome to see how, just what you said, like, how lenders are learning from each other because other people have been there. Many other people that you'll interact with have dealt with whatever challenge you're facing right now, right? And they give you the answer. They give you the blueprint for down the road. And you just can't get that anywhere else. That's why we created this thing, because it didn't exist in the industry. We created the Mastermind group that we wanted to join, right? If somebody else had created it way before us, we'd be in that one, but it wasn't available, so we made it, right? And it just, you know, the online Mastermind is awesome. It's really good. It's really beneficial. People can obviously access it from anywhere in desktop or their phone. but it really is next level to be in the room with the people. It's next level, hands-on, get to know people, go out to dinner. The relationships that we've seen build over the past few years, it's really rewarding to see as the people who started the group. It's really, really cool to see. You want to give some of the detail of what the couple day meeting is going to look like?
Yep. And real quick, like our intent was never of like, this is a place to share deals, share capital, but like it evolved into that in a lot of these stuff. And like, we'll talk to members of the mastermind group and be like, oh, hey, did I tell you that we did this $2 million deal together? And I'm like, you did? And he's like, yeah, I had this deal. I'm in Florida. This deal was in Texas. It came to me. I thought it was a good opportunity. I reached out to some of the folks in the group, and we figured out a split, and we did it. And it's like, wow, that's great. That's because that's what this is about, right? I mean, there's too many people trying to scam hard money lenders and private capital investors. There's too many borrowers that go into default, and this is listen. This is a spot where it's good to have allies. It's good to have people on your side on these things because, yes, the majority of your business are going to be good real estate deals that you're lending to, qualified real estate investors and commercial property owners. But when deals start going sideways and deals start going bad, like you never want to be in a point that you have to potentially lose your capital or investor capital. So you want to make sure you have like-minded people around you to help you grow and continuing to do good things. And it's like a lot of the times just not your fault if deals don't go right. Like crap happens. Like we've been in situations that like a lot of the deals that have been in default, we probably hadn't changed much on the front end. Like just some of them weren't really even red flags. Some of them were red flags, right? And was like, oh, we shouldn't have done this deal to begin with. But a lot of them, weren't. And one other thing, and then kind of tell you some of the stuff that we're going to focus on. The other thing I was thinking about is the other hard money lenders are really your only shortcut to this. And the reason why is, yes, you can ask help from real estate investors and other entrepreneurs and real estate attorneys and other real estate professionals, but like they don't really have an economic interest in some of this stuff. And more importantly, like they know their expertise. The attorney is going to give you legal advice, not necessarily business advice. There's a lot of situations that the legal answer and the business answer differed. And what I meant by that was, we can go down this legal road and we can spend $30,000 in lawsuits and this, but like that's not really the answer. I'm still going to lose that at the end of the day, suing somebody that doesn't have any money to repay. Rather cut our losses, make a quick business decision, and move on. So anyways, so the focus is that we, this summer event's going to have, and this is obviously very important, is we're going to be focusing on marketing strategies. We're going to be focusing on deal structuring. We're going to be focusing on capital raising and on investor relations. Obviously, intertwined into all of that is the systems and the processes and the mechanics, along with all of those things. But overall, this theme is heavy. The theme of the event is heavy on growth tactics and scaling, because that's what it's about. There is going to be a mastermind component on it, right? So everyone's going to have the opportunity to do a small mastermind segment of, a little bit about themselves, how, challenges that they're having, so other folks in the group, not just us, can help. But it's very, very heavy on some presentations, some educational components, and overall kind of growth tactics to help take you from a few $1 million deployed or $10 million deployed, let's say, up to the next level, whatever that next level is. Because, level one obviously is like 1 or 2 million to get to, let's say a few million to get to like 5, 6, 7 million. And then it's, the 3 million to 10 million, and then the 10 million kind of to 20 million, call it 25 million. And we've seen this so many times inside the mastermind group, so many times. And there is a lot of fulfillment on our end to see somebody going from like, hey, I'm lending a few $1 million somewhat professionally to getting to $10 million. And now I have a staff. Now I have loan servicing software. Now I have a CRM. I have a formal email database, because that's how you scale, right? It's putting the right things in place and taking it to the next level. And anybody can band-aid this together to a few million bucks. And most people do, including ourselves. When we started, we band-aided this together for a few million bucks. But after you're at that point, you kind of have this reality check of like, shit, like this is a real business. And I need to treat this like a real business because there is a lot of money at risk of my own money or capital investors that I've raised capital from. And I got to be responsible, and I got to turn this into the next step.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, a couple things I was thinking about related to like the structure of the event. Obviously, it's our first one, but we are familiar with running events in general and how we are going to piece this together to make it most beneficial to the people who come. And just want to emphasize a couple of things that you said about, yeah, part of it will be masterminding, and there's a lot of value in that. We learned this back in the day when we were in Russell Brunson's mastermind. He's the founder of ClickFunnels. About 10 years ago, we were for a couple of years, and doing your segment where you talk a little bit about your company so people can get a sense of like who you are and what you're up to. And then the ask is like, here's what my challenge is. What's the feedback you guys have to solve this, right? And the stuff that you get, one, from your own presentation and, you know, the feedback that you get directly from people. And then also you end up learning a ton of stuff from other people's mastermind segments because you weren't even thinking about that, right? You weren't, whatever their challenge is or whatever somebody else's answer is, you weren't thinking about that, but it dawns on you that you need to know that too. And so you learn all this unexpected, like, you know, nuggets of gold, really. So that is definitely part of it. And then we're also going to work in a good amount of presentation stuff from experts, right? Like I'm going to do a presentation. Jason's going to do one. We have an attorney coming. We have Harris or somebody doing it. Yeah. So we got,
yeah, I mean, we
coming too.
Yeah. I mean, we have multiple presentations that we'll both be doing, you know, Chris more kind of in investor relations and, you know, the capital raising, me more kind of on some marketing strategies, some upfront deal flow. Also, you've probably heard Shane on our podcast talk recently, but he's been running a lot of our online paid digital marketing stuff for us. A lot of our SEO, a lot of our paid traffic, AdWords, Meta, so Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. He's able to come, which is great because I think that's a really good marketing hack right now is to do some of these paid sources. And I know that some of the stuff that we've talked about, we try to focus on a lot of the free stuff, but like after you're at the point of, you know, the scaling phase, you really need to get into some paid traffic in order to scale this, to get to the next level, right? Throw some gasoline on this if you have the budget to do so. So he's going to be helping out with that. You know, we've been very transparent with all of our analytics that we have from paid traffic that he's going to be sharing. You know, he uses our account as kind of the, you know, a test case. So to share some of that stuff of what's working, what's not working. And, you know, he works with other lenders throughout the country as well. So anyways, it's going to be, it's going to be good. I can promise you that. You know, the focus is, you know, on growth and on scaling. So, and there's a lot of lenders, a lot of top tier lenders that we personally know already flying in for the event. So that's great. And, you know, there's a few spots left. That's one of the reasons we wanted to do this podcast episode, because we don't publicly talk about some of these things. It kind of just organically happens through just being in the mastermind group and things like that. But because there's a few spots left, the event is in June. It's June 4th and June 5th. Figured we'd talk about it publicly on the podcast because I know we've done some things similar to this that we didn't really, you know, share publicly. And there were some folks in the mastermind group that, you know, wanted to get in on some stuff that we had done in the past. And why not just share it? You know, that's what it's about. You know, the goal is to help everybody grow their private lending businesses and their hard money lending businesses responsibly. And, you know, definitely check it out. If you're looking to take your company to the next level, it's definitely the next step. You know, there's not all that much stuff in this space, and the space is changing. Space is changing regularly. We've seen a lot of stuff, you know, organically happen that we see inside our business related to, you know, better deal flow that's coming recently. A lot of the institutions that are tightening up stuff, potentially even dropping some of their loan products, some of their fix and flip products, some of their rates are increasing. So it's a great time to be a private lender. It's a great time to be a hard money lender. That doesn't mean you go out there and be irresponsible and do high leverage and low fees. it's a time to be responsible and lend to the right borrowers with big down payments or bigger down payments, and lend on good deals. There's lots of good deals out there. We've been in this space for 18 years and had some involvement, but even before that, and between fix and flip loans and some bridge loans and some rental properties and some commercial loans, there's lots of opportunities. And most of the hard money lenders and the private lenders that we know using private capital, like, they don't need, we all don't need to find 50 deals a month. Having a few really, really, really good ones that are profitable, that's where the game's at. And, this event will help you take that to the next level.
No, I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone at the event is up to lending wise and how their 2025 has looked so far, halfway into the year. So here's the deal, guys. If you are actively lending private capital, you're encouraged to apply, right? There is an application process. You can find it at hardmoneymastermind.com and click on live events. Dave Bauer can walk you through the particulars of it. There is a limit to the room and to what we can fit into a 2-day meeting. So that's why there's an application process, and we select the people who are going to come. But yeah, if you're actively lending, we absolutely encourage you to apply. Go check it out at hardmoneymastermind.com. We'll see everybody here next time on the podcast.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Private Lenders Podcast. Please note that the opinions stated by all the speakers on this show are only opinions and not intended for legal, financial, or accounting advice. Please make sure to always check with your own legal, accounting, and financial professionals. If you enjoyed this episode of the Private Lenders Podcast, we'd appreciate it if you would spread the word. Make sure to check out hardmoneymastermind.com, the #1 free community for new and experienced private and hard money lenders.